Hello everyone, today I'm so excited to be sharing with you Batch 22 Bakery. Batch 22 is a specialty cookie shop that opened in May of 2020, and they basically sell cookies out of a home kitchen in the Bay Area. Batch 22 makes some of the best cookies I've ever had, and I'm pretty picky about cookies since I've made so many cookies over the years. It's quite hard to please me, and they certainly do please me with their high quality homemade cookies. The founder of Batch 22 was inspired to start up her business after visiting Levain Bakery in New York City for their chocolate chip cookies, and I actually went there in 2019, and trust me, their chocolate chip cookies are legendary. Honestly, I think Batch 22 is the next best thing. The founder, Amy, really wanted to replicate the cookies that she had at Levain in New York City since it's so far. It's literally on the other side of the country, and after many batches, quite a bit more than 22, she actually finally figured out her perfect recipe. The name Batch 22 refers to a Friends episode where Phoebe made 22 batches of cookies before realizing that her grandma's famous cookies were actually the Nestle Toll House recipe. Believe it or not, I've never actually watched Friends before, so let me know if you've ever seen that scene before, so hopefully some of you know what I'm actually talking about. The great thing about Batch 22 is that they have free delivery for most of the South Bay, and if you live in other areas in the Bay Area, you can pretty much just pay for delivery. And actually, my cookies just arrived a few minutes ago, so let's see what we have here. I ordered these 2 boxes of cookies, so let me show you what's inside. Right inside the small box, we have the classic chocolate chip cookies, and these are so addicting. They're the perfect size, and they're little crispy, salty bites of heaven. And inside their large box, I got 2 of their gift sets of their Pudges right here. So this is one of them, and here is the other. Their Pudges are giant 6-ounce cookies, and they are really nice to bite into. I just love their rich and thick cookies, and they have the perfect texture, crispy on the outside and soft on the inside. Their cookies are best served warm, and there's 2 ways to heat them up. You can either use the microwave or you can use the toaster oven, which is my favorite way to heat them up. First off, I'm going to start off with their classic chocolate chip cookie. The classic chocolate chip cookies are filled with pecans, toffee bits, and they're made with Valrhona chocolate and topped off with flaky sea salt, which I love, and I think that makes them really special, and it really adds a lot of flavor. This cookie is a delicious treat that'll take your taste buds on a journey. The outside of the cookie is perfectly crunchy, and it's actually crunchy all the way through. And you get a little bit of the chew from the pecans and also from the toffee bits. It's almost like little bits of chewy toffee bits, and that combined with the pecans adds a really nice deep nuttiness. I really love how the earthiness of the toffee bits and the pecans pair with the chocolate. The Valrhona chocolate is so high quality, and it's also not too overwhelming just because they don't overdo it, which is really important, I think. And I also love the flaky sea salt. It just adds a really nice saltiness. I mean, what goes better together than chocolate and sea salt? Basically chocolate and sea salt in a cookie. Next is their chocolate chip Pudge cookie, and these are incredible. These definitely remind me of Levain just because they're about the same size. These are huge. Definitely you're going to want to split this at least, or maybe even quarter it with a couple of friends. The thing that's really apparent with all their cookies, especially this chocolate chip Pudge, is that they are so incredibly buttery. The second you bite into it, it's like biting into a fresh croissant in a way, because all the butter just coats your tongue, and it's so incredibly flavorful. And I love all the bits of chocolate in here. The chocolate chips are really nice and rich and flavorful, and the cookie itself has the perfect texture. It's light and crispy on the outside, and the inside is so delicately soft. It almost melts in your mouth. I also taste a lot of cinnamon in these cookies, and I really like how it balances out the sweetness, and I think it adds a lot of depth. I also love that these cookies aren't overly sweet. Although these Pudge aren't topped with sea salt, it still tastes like there's a decent amount of salt in the dough, so it's not overly sweet. Next is the Matcha White Chocolate Pudge, and this one's a little bit different. All the other cookies I tried so far use semi-sweet chocolate, and this one is white chocolate. And I'm really looking forward to this. I love matcha, and I have made matcha cookies in the past, so we'll see how this compares to what I've made. This is a really solid cookie. It's definitely a bit sweeter than the other ones just because of all the white chocolate, but it's also more bitter than other cookies because of the matcha. You get a really nice grassy, earthy matcha flavor, and it's quite a bit on the bitter side, but I really do like it, and it's still really nice and buttery, and the edges I know on this one are particularly crispy, so I really enjoy that. Compared to some of the other matcha cookies I've made in the past over the years, I actually like this Matcha Pudge a lot better just because it has a much richer matcha flavor. I forgot to mention earlier that these cookies are really hefty. Because they're 6 ounces each, they pack a lot of weight and they're quite hefty filling. Let's go for a bite of this red velvet cookie. I'm really looking forward to it just because it's filled with cream cheese. These red velvet cookies are perfect. I feel like they were made just for me, not gonna lie, just because they have the perfect sweetness. I often think that red velvet cookies or red velvet cakes are overly sweet just because of all the thick frosting, but on the inside, it's a really thin layer of cream cheese frosting, and it's also really nice and salty. It honestly doesn't taste like there's much sugar in there, so it's very lightly sweet, and the saltiness, just like with the other cookies, pairs really nicely with the cookie itself. I love the intense red velvet flavor, and also has a really nice color. It's super bright and colorful. Now for our final cookie. This is the coal cookie, and I forgot to mention that the red velvet and coal cookies are only being sold through December since they're seasonal, but this one is their take on Oreo, and they certainly nailed it. It smells like a homemade Oreo, just like an Oreo with all the artificialness taken out of it. This is really interesting. It does taste like an Oreo, especially on the outside because you have really thick crunchy edges, just like the matcha one, and it literally tastes like you're biting into a crunchy Oreo, and then the inside is really ooey and gooey. It almost reminds me of a brownie. So this is like a brownie and an Oreo combined with no artificial taste, just rich, chocolatey heaven. All these cookies from Batch 22 I tried were absolutely fabulous. If you live in the Bay Area, you definitely need to check out Batch 22. You're gonna love all their cookies. They're really high quality. And like I said, that's the next best thing to getting a fresh chocolate chip cookie from Levain Bakery in New York City. Batch 22 is a very small shop, so definitely show them some love. I know they would really appreciate it because they love sharing their high quality product with as many people as possible. I'll leave all the information for Batch 22 in the description down below. A quick disclaimer, next week's usual upload on Friday is going to be pushed out to Sunday because I have a special video planned to celebrate the new year, so definitely stay tuned for that. And yeah, I really hope you all enjoyed the video. Make sure if you did, give it a like, and also make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.